6 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. We're starting this meeting of the American Civil Defense Association. I'm Jay Wimpy, the current president of the organization, and I am going to read a short disclaimer and we'll proceed with the meeting. Nothing in this presentation should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The opinions of the viewers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of TACDA. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The format tonight is informal. We will allow questions on the fly so that answers will be in context. You can also use the chat function and we'll try to keep up with those. Our presenter tonight is Bruce Curley. He's the current vice president of TACDA. He also has a background in cybersecurity and emergency response type work. So anyway, with that, I'll turn the time over to you, Bruce. If you want to go ahead and get started, we'll try to keep up. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jay. And I especially want to thank you for your years of service to TACDA for making it the incredible organization it is today. I'd like to thank Roseanne, our executive director, and anybody who's on this call or in this meeting. She's a wonderful person if you ever need anything from TACDA. And just want to show one of the many items we have in our survival store. Everything we have is tested and vetted. And this is a electromagnetic pulse hardened USB drive with an O-ring. So if it falls in the water, all your data is safe. The difference between this and many other USBs you've seen is that 5% of it is our coursework from our academy. And so on your own, you can study it. The other 95% is for you to back up your data. Most small businesses go out of business now, not from the earthquake, hurricane, flood, fire, or whatever. It's loss of data. And that's a lot of insurance to buy for a few dollars. So I just wanted to encourage you to go to the our survival store and look into that. The presentation tonight is of interest to many. Interestingly enough, just this week on Tuesday, I received a call from a journalist, a guy on a show, America's Survival. I interviewed with him last year, and his hospital records had just been stolen. And he was quite upset by that. And he interviewed me about what he might be able to do about it. So this threat is real. It's out there every day. And we need to know how to respond to it, especially for our children and our grandchildren. This presentation is how to protect your family from cyber criminal scams, identity theft, ripoffs, and blackmail, which are just some of the things that happen to people. Protection from cyber attacks is a necessary and critical responsibility of every American family. And I think if you're in this meeting, you'll agree. You must know how to defend against social engineering cyber attacks, phishing attacks, and all their variations, cell phone calls from cyber criminals, scams to access your bank accounts, and multiple other cyber threats. Tragically, every day, small businesses and average Americans are being fleeced out of money and their life savings by cyber criminals. And again, if you're in this meeting, you know that's a reality. Make sure you train your children and grandchildren in the tools they need to defeat these real-world threats. Some cyber criminals operate on their own. Some are employed by their governments, like the Communist Party, CCP, 50 Cent Army. It's really an amazing thing where they have thousands of people, and I mean thousands, on their payroll. They're also known as the Wu Ma Bat Bot Army. Wu Ma Bat Bot Army. And Roseanne included with your invitation to this a wonderful show by the China show. It's two guys that were in China for 15 years. They're experts. They're married to Chinese women, and they show really what's going on. And the link there is to the 50 Cent Army, and you'll get a much better idea of the threat that we face. Regardless of where these cyber attacks originate, due to AI, they will only increase in the future. AI can fake voices and images that appear real to fool you. And enough said. I mean, you see that kind of AI threat developing every day. Prepare for these cyber attacks now to ensure you and your family do not fall for them. And that's something that I've emphasized for years in disaster work. It's always before the event. I was just doing some things with flooding in West Virginia, and I presented everything several months ago, and we had two major floods hit us here. And the data's out there, the information's out there. It just doesn't seem to get to people. And that's the point of this presentation, is to help you understand how this works. There are two definitions. There are more than two definitions, but these are the ones that I think cover it. The informal one is cybersecurity is like being a superhero for your family's computers, phones, and online stuff. It's all about keeping the bad guys like sneaky hackers or tricky viruses away from your computer files, data, games, photos, and messages. Imagine putting strong locks on your digital doors using secret codes only your family knows, and having a trusty shield like Spybot antivirus software, which I highly recommend. It's a German kid that's a genius that came up with it 10 years ago, and it really works well. And it's also about making sure that everyone can have fun and stay safe online, whether you're playing, chatting, or shopping, without letting the digital villains spoil the day. When I work or when I've been involved with some cybersecurity things for the government, there's a formal definition that they use, which is the one that follows. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting systems, networks, devices, and data from unauthorized access, attacks, or damage. It involves a range of technologies, processes, and measures designed to safeguard sensitive information, prevent disruption, and mitigate risks posed by cyber threats like hacking, malware, phishing, and data breaches. Essentially, it's about keeping the digital world secure and resilient. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. There's a remarkable amount of threat out there. The big picture is that the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology released the latest version of the cybersecurity framework to find the Communist Chinese Party's broadest, most active, and most persistent threat to both government and private sector networks. And a lot of this is that 20 years ago, after Desert Storm, they came up with a program where it's called unrestricted warfare. And the idea is that they consider everything a way of taking down the United States. And in their 100-year plan, we just provide them with food and buy their products. It's all part of the Belt and Road Initiative. And as a nation, that's the greatest threat we face right now. Among other findings, this report revealed that the U.S. intelligence community had eradicated a Chinese botnet from more than 600 routers associated with critical U.S. infrastructure. That infrastructure included water, gas, energy, rail, air, and port traffic control systems. And I can verify this. Recently, I was working on a project to develop the cybersecurity strategy for the Gulf of America. 1/3 of our gas and oil comes from that region. And so, unfortunately, a lot of the software was old, the computers were old, everything was old. It's in the process now of being redone, but the threat is real, I can assure you. We'll skip this one. And I should have mentioned in the beginning, this presentation is in our latest copy of the Journal of Civil Defense. And so what I'm presenting here is just a quick version of what's in the article. And it's really a good resource, and I highly encourage you to look at it in our latest issue of the journal. Here are some practical measures families can take to ensure cybersecurity. Use strong, unique passwords. And that's something that people just don't do, and it's not that hard. You just have to be creative about it. Enable two-factor authentication, and you're probably using that with your bank right now. As soon as you try to do something with your bank, they immediately call you back and they give you a number that you use to get into your bank account. So that's two-factor authentication, and that's happening more and more, and it's very good. It really prevents cyber criminals from committing crime. Keep your software updated. This is really important. A lot of times it'll just come up on your screen and it'll say your software needs to be updated, restart your computer. And that's something that's vital. Be cautious with links and downloads. And that can't be emphasized enough. 94 to 5% of what most companies face, it's from people clicking on emails, and very simply, or clicking on clickbait sites that they shouldn't. And unfortunately, it works is within seconds that malware is downloaded onto their system, and they're in trouble. So make sure you use secure Wi-Fi networks, use a strong password for your home, enable encryption, and hide the network name to prevent unauthorized access. Limit sharing online, and this is with your family members, especially your children, and especially teenagers. Unfortunately, they go into places on the internet that they shouldn't go into. And hackers are very good. I hate to bring it up, but pornography is one of the worst places because they use pornography to plant malware on business computers, home computers, government computers. So that's something that should never, ever, ever be allowed access in your household. Use parental controls as part of that. Set up filters and monitoring tools on devices kids use to block harmful content and limit exposure to risky sites or apps. Back up important data. This is an excellent way to do so. Regularly save copies of photos, documents, and other key files to an external drive or secure cloud service to recover them if a device is compromised. And again, this is a very simple way to do so. Monitor accounts, check bank and online accounts for unusual activity, and set up alerts for logins or transactions to catch issues early. And this happened to me about 5 years ago. Someone ran a charge, $9.99, which is what they do. They run it through, and then they see if they can clean out your account. And this happened to me 3 months in a row. We think it was somebody in my hometown, but we can never take care of it. That's something you really need to do, is keep an eye on your bank accounts. Your email and text are windows of opportunity for criminals, that cyber criminals. So what I'm going to describe below here, I know sounds fantastical, but it's based on a true story, as best as I could write it down. And this is a scenario you need to think about right now. Someone on X contacts you claiming to be a relative of Elon Musk, who tells you they appreciate your support for him. So they're trying to get you to trust them. Then another relative of Elon Musk contacts you on X with effusive praise and states that Elon wants to thank you, and here is his contact information, a Telegram account where you can chat with him. They are clear that you should not share this information with anyone. And any of these cyber criminals, that's always a red flag when they say, do not share this information with anyone. Only you can have this opportunity. So you go to the Telegram account, and the fake Elon Musk is also effusive in his praise of your fan support. And he wants to reward you by giving you access to his Bitcoin investment platform for select fans. He provides a link where you set up the account and then instructs you on how to buy Bitcoin and how to transfer to his Bitcoin investment platform. And sadly, billions of dollars are stolen each year through this method and similar methods. There are variations of this attack, but it goes something like this. Unexpectedly, you get a call from a member you don't recognize. It's not from family or friends or anyone you know. And this is a second scenario. So they basically tell you that you've been hacked and they need to help you. And so they bait you with something clever like, I'm calling from your bank because there has been unusual activity on your account. Or you get a call from your bank that a cyber criminal is draining your bank account and he patches you through to an FBI agent who confirms it. Then they inform you that you need to go to your bank, withdraw the remaining funds, and to safeguard your remaining funds. You must transfer them via Bitcoin back to your bank via an account number they will provide to you. Now, this is a scenario that actually is quite common, and it happens all the time. And sometimes they'll use something outrageous, like they'll say, we found child porno on your computer. That's impossible. And then they patch it through to the FBI guy who confirms it. And it's quite sophisticated. And sadly, it happens every day, especially to senior citizens. Or you may get a call from a cyber criminal who claims they are the police and your grandchild needs $1,000 bail, or they will spend the night in jail. And that's quite a common one, unfortunately. Cyber criminals practice, and these are fraud tag teams. Cyber criminals practice a very sophisticated tag team methodology. Here is another scheme they use to defraud hundreds of millions from Americans every year. One foreign cyber criminal calls and states that you have been identified as spending money on child pornography by the FBI due to charges on your bank account. When you laugh at them and say that it's impossible, they will ask you to hold and claim a representative of your bank is on the other line, and they will patch you through. And so you're basically talking to two of them now. Another criminal will come on the line and state that he is a representative from your bank and that there are indeed payments on your account paying for child porn. So now there's three of them working on you, right? He will identify your bank and explain that he needs to take control of your computer and review your account for unusual activity. Then another criminal will come on and announce that he wants to collaborate with you to keep the remaining amount in your account safe. The criminal will ask you to withdraw it to protect it, and the criminals want you to go to an ATM, a crypto ATM, to transfer the money, to take the cash, put it in there, convert it into Bitcoin, and then send it to an account number that they'll provide you, and there goes your money. Okay. As I said earlier, a good way to protect yourself from cyber criminals, and if they do, if they hack you, you're going to need to rebuild your life, and that the data that you have, your family data, your business data, if you have it backed up, of course, it's all well and good to store it in the cloud, but you should also have a personal copy at home that you can depend on. So back up your critical family data. This protects you from the loss of data in a cyber attack. The reason small businesses go out of business after a natural or man-made disaster is no longer the event itself, but the loss of data. Because small businesses lose their business records, they cannot get up and running after a disaster. And this happened in Western North Carolina to hundreds of businesses. It's really tragic. And if they had just had their USB drive with their data backed up, they could get up and going, but they lost their customer list, they lost their financial data, and it's just really hard to get going. And so I highly encourage that you purchase one of those or several. And actually, if you do have a small business, they make excellent gifts for your employees and even customers and clients. They make excellent gifts at Christmas time or for your children. So again, I encourage you to get it. And I thank Jay for this, because this was Jay's project. He did a great job with it. Keep an EMP hardened thumb drive on your key ring. As you can see, it has that, and you can stick it right on your key ring, so it's always available to you. Use it to back up your business and family data. As a bonus, those thumb drives come preloaded with the TACDA emergency resource essentials that you may order at the TACDA Survival store, and that's a link there. And again, this presentation will be under resources on our website in a day or two, and so everything that's in here you can find there. I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, there we are. Okay, now when I wrote this, I did some deep research, and of the things I found, these are the best sources for you from everything I went through. They're all loaded. So you must be aware, and that's the first step, is to be aware that these cyber criminal threats and attacks are there. They are endless. Once a cyber criminal steals your data or money, they will not be identified or prosecuted, as they are safe overseas. And that's something to really keep in mind, that even if you identify who they are, you're never going to have any justice, and you're not going to get your money back because most of them are in India or China or Cambodia. There's especially in the Asian nations, and even if the FBI knows who they are, they can't get to them, and they can't bring them back here for prosecution. So you lose your data, you lose your money, it's gone. The resources that are listed here, the 5 of them, all 5 of them will help, and I encourage you to go to them. An additional few were sent out by Roseanne in the email. And again, I highly encourage you all to go see the presentation by the China Show about the 50-cent army, because that'll give you a clear understanding of the threat that we're up against. So that concludes my presentation, and I'd be happy to take any questions. As long as everybody can hear me. I didn't hear any questions, so I have 2 bonus pages. These steps will also help you regain control of your data and strengthen your privacy. Audit app permissions. And this is something people don't do, but it's critical. Review all app permissions and revoke unnecessary access to microphone, camera, location, and contacts. That's critical. Clear digital trails, delete browsing history, cookies, and cache across all browsers. Download and review your data from major platforms, requesting deletion where possible. Update your security. Implement strong, unique passwords for important accounts. Again, and enable two-factor authentication for critical services. Optimize privacy settings, disable and personalize tracking where possible, opt out of data collection programs. That's an important one. You'd be amazed at how much data is being collected on you every day. Communications, verify your messaging apps use end-to-end encryption. One that I really like, I've used for years, is Proton Mail. It's out of Switzerland and it's very secure. Review which apps have access to your microphone and camera and be aware of them so that you know who you're sharing data with. And again, I can't say it enough, back up your data. Create secure backups before making significant changes, and consider encrypted backup solutions for sensitive information. Okay, so if anyone has any questions.
You'd mentioned that one virus protection software, or what was it, something bot or whatever else?
Spybot.
Spotbot, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about like Norton 360?
I'm sure it's good. I just don't use it.
Okay.
It's been around for years.
Yeah, I always kind of question these. I mean, you get free ones with Microsoft, they're sometimes downloaded on the computer. And then you get, we used to have Norton 360 for many years. I discontinued the subscription, but I always wonder. So, I mean, I don't mean to be seem suspicious, but sometimes I'm wondering if these companies, one hand is creating the virus that the other hand is fixing, but I don't know if that's the case or not. But I was wondering what you thought about Norton. But you basically just use the Spotbot, is that correct?
Yeah, I have others, but the main one that I use is Spybot, just because it does immunizations, which are important. It does automatic updates, and it has several other features that are just very good. Again, with Norton, I really don't have anything to say because I haven't used it probably for 20 years. So I don't know anything about it now, but Spybot is excellent. And it's inexpensive. It's only $25 a year.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
thank you very much for that.
you're welcome.
Bruce, does Spybot allow you to take care of multiple computers or devices?
Yes, I believe it's
Okay.
5.
Yeah, okay. That's great.
I having just a story that just happened this week about security. I was having cell phone issues and I called tech support, which was offshore, and I got an engineer and he was determining a bunch of details. And I mentioned that my phone worked better in Mexico. I just took a quick trip down there and he was actually able to apparently see some pictures that I texted. So if you think you have anything secure on your cell phone, you're kidding yourself. I was quite shocked. He just sort of mentioned, "Oh, I see the rocks on the ocean." It's like, oh, great. He can see everything that I've been communicating. So it's like there really isn't anything that's for sure secure.
Well, keep in mind that Zuckerberg always puts a piece of tape over the little camera on any of his laptops.
Oh yeah,
So
no,
what does Zuckerberg know?
absolutely. This PC has a plug-in camera, and yeah, you need to cover. Some of them actually have the little slide doors and things,
Right,
but
right, yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I won't have any of those devices in my house where you speak to them and they bring up music or turn on the TV or the refrigerator, whatever. I'll never have one of those devices in my house.
Oh, absolutely not. And it seems like the people that are most intrigued with that sort of technology are the least tech savvy people. So
Right,
it's
right.
kind of sad.
Yeah, if I can talk to it, it can hear me and it can listen to me nonstop. And the things that have come out over the years where, oh no, we're not doing that, we're not doing that, and then all of a sudden they admit it. So yeah, there's just no reason to have something like that in the house.
And I think we've all had an opportunity to have an occurrence where we've been talking about something that we've never talked about in a long time, and all of a sudden we're getting ads or
Right.
some response associated with it. So don't kid yourself. They're listening and probably watching.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty bad. Something else I did want to mention. Very often when I have a card that I've handed out to thousands of people that basically just have the contact information from TACDA. And I have a Substack that I do, American Tactical Civil Defense. But it's an interesting thing to me where people always think that disasters only happen to other people and will never occur to them. And so I found a wonderful site on X called Disaster News, and it's at TOP_disaster. So it's disaster news on X. And the wonder of it is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it shows disasters happening somewhere in the world that you'll never see because our media doesn't cover it, their media doesn't cover ours. But it really allows you to see the scope of the natural disasters that are out there. Obviously, cybersecurity is a man-made disaster, but if you want to see the natural disasters that are out there, and that's where TACDA is just an incredible place, and so we have to keep it alive. We have to keep it growing, and the whole point of it is to help American families be prepared for disasters and do better in them, and not suffer the damage to property that we see all the time when tornadoes and floods sweep through. As I would like to know, is there anyone that would like to share a story of the kind of fleecing that I described in my presentation? Perhaps that they've gone through or that a family member has gone through?
I-
My mother-in-law, she got the call about the grandson
Oh boy.
needing $1,000 to get out of jail or something like that, and she didn't have that many grandsons, I guess, but and she was quite a bit older at the time, and she said, "Is it John?" And once they had that, once they had John, then they really played that up, and I don't think she ended up actually going through with it or whatever, but well, that happened in the family, and you get phishing and some targeted stuff all the time where, the old UPS delivery package, is all we need is some information and we can deliver it to you and things of that nature. So
Right.
it happens on almost a daily basis. It's amazing. They've kind of saturated the market.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's a matter
Or
of percentages. They just have to get to a certain percentage, and they're making plenty of money, which is the reason they continue to do it. And the older people that aren't as tech savvy, unfortunately, and they're very good. They're clever, and they're very
Yeah.
good at what they do. Unfortunately, there's actually a guy on YouTube who has a site. He's just a genius at hacking, but he's a white hat hacker. And so the ones in India, he tracks them for a while, and he can actually get into a call where they're fleecing say an older American woman, and they'll tell her, you need to get off this. And at that point, she's so trapped by them mentally that it takes them a while to convince them that she shouldn't send them the money. And so he's done a wonderful work uh, recovering money for people.
I
It's
know
a new world.
my mother-in-law had an instance where she got a notice from Amazon that somebody had made a fraudulent charge on her account. And she actually went and Googled and looked up the Amazon support, the support number for Amazon, but it took her to a fraud site.
Hmm.
And I don't know how they did that, but somehow they convinced her to take money out of the bank and send it someplace. And so I don't know how, she wouldn't relate to us when she found out she had been defrauded. She didn't want
Well,
to.
that you bring up an excellent point, and that is there's so much shame with people once they're fleeced that they really don't talk about it. And one of the links, the 5 links, is to a series of articles that were in the Washington Post, quite good, following a woman who was called and convinced that she was needed by the FBI to do some undercover work, and it's really a sophisticated scam. And they cleaned out her life savings, and she's a widow. Just an awful story, but the whole point of it was to alert people. And again, she wouldn't talk about it for a while, and finally the journalist somehow got to her and was willing to share it. But when people lose that kind of money, there's shame involved, and they just keep it to themselves. And the tragedy there, of course, is then other people are not informed that it's going on, and they get hit.
I was going to mention there are some, somewhat more crude things you can do. Having something like Spybot is good. I've had malware bites for quite some time. It seems to do a good job. It was recommended to me by the guy at the computer shop that I use. But if I want to have a private conversation, I make sure there's not a computer in the room, or I put the at least my phone in an EMP pouch, and that that it's shut down and incapable of listening to anything at that point. And I usually leave it in another room. So there are very well. You have to be real careful, because everything that you say and do basically is monitored.
And that's a good point, Jay, because on our website, in the Survival Store, we have the pouches for a laptop or for a cell phone. And as you say, once you close that pouch, it can't be monitored. It doesn't send a signal. It doesn't receive a signal. So, and it's a shame that that's the world we live in. But in my case, if I want to talk to somebody, I meet them for coffee somewhere.
Leave your phone in the car.
Exactly. Yeah, like skiffs, the whole thing. You can't go into a skiff. You have to toss it into a bag and then go into the skiff. You can't bring your cell phone in there. And they're listening devices, they're GPS tracking devices, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I know I recently had somebody sent me a Google Docs link. It was for an organization that I was involved in, and he had a couple of files in there. When I got into the Google Docs, all these files showed up. And I realized they were all from my laptop, my computer, and my phone.
Wow.
Somehow Google had been uploading all these files, screenshots and everything were all in this Google Docs folder, and they merged the two files together. So I have yet to figure out what's going on there. But is there any advice you can give to?
Well, I think with Google Docs, you're paying for it, right? I know they had the free service, but they also have. Are you?
This was just a free service, and we were just testing it out. But when I went in to test it, all these files that I didn't agree to upload showed up in that Google Docs file. I was amazed.
Have you deleted them?
No, not yet. I'm still trying to see what the heck are they, but there was tons of files. I mean, this has probably been going on for a while.
Have you contacted Google to ask one of their tech support people what's going on?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I would. And then once you get your answer, it's a real good idea to delete them, because, I mean, if you don't want them there.
Yeah, it wasn't my idea to put them there.
Yeah, that's pretty remarkable.
But there was somebody that sent me a link. I have to go back and see if I can find it. But there is something that you could do in the settings to prevent Google from scavenging your data. I don't know if you know anything about it, but yeah, this thing is kind of like amazing to me that I've used Google Docs before in different organizations, but this is the first time I went into it and all of my files were on it from my phone and everything. So it's just like,
well, somewhere in the settings there, you must have given them permission, or they assume permission, and they're just taking a vacuum cleaner to your files. But are those business files?
No, they were personal files.
Yeah, I'd get that taken care of. Who knows if it's in Dropbox even, I mean.
Yeah, I got a meeting with the guy tomorrow just to kind of discuss this whole thing, and I'll look at.
Yeah, the problem is these cyber criminals are so good at spoofing sites, I mean, like when they send you the email, a lot of people click on it because it looks like it's a legitimate email. and they're getting better and better at it. And sadly, that's the underside of AI. It's very easy to put something into an AI app and then spoof it and then put it out there, and people are going to click on it. But in your case, the concern I have is they're your personal files and they're out there. It's different. It's interesting with this Frederick Health situation. The guy was really furious about it, and I said, well, I guess I spent my fury because in 2014, I used to be in the Air Force, and in 2014, the CCP got into the Office of Personnel Management servers and stole, fingerprint files, background checks, service records, medical files, everything from millions of vets. And unfortunately, they didn't figure it out for a while. In 2015, we got this ridiculous email saying, we'll monitor your internet for a year. Well, the horse is already out of the barn. And so this hospital was doing the same thing to this guy, and he was asking me if he should get it. It's like, yeah, it's fine, get it. But the point is, your files are gone. They're on a server outside of Beijing right now. So, that's it's just the world we live in. So
Yeah, I know that I saw a congressional hearing one time. One of the founders, this was quite a few years ago, but one of the founders of Google was testifying before Congress in a hearing that Google was researching and advancing sophisticated AI and selling it to the Chinese government.
oh yeah.
They should be investigated, but as far as I know, our Congress did nothing. But
Yeah, no, that's going on for you. I won't touch a Google product. I mean, I use Brave as it's just that it's better to begin with, but it doesn't track you and so forth. Anything Google, and they've done that for years.
right.
One thing that I find that a lot of people do is they leave their computer on all the time. I mean, it's not impossible that your computer can be turned off, and you can, it's something called wake on LAN. And if you have that not blocked, they can even turn it on remotely. And an interesting thing about these phishing schemes or ripoffs is just today, I got an email from Tractor Supply that I had won a Predator, which is a Harbor Freight generator. And I was like, yeah,
Right.
that makes a lot of sense. And then I got another one from Best Buy that I'd won a computer. And it's like, nobody gives anything away anymore. So,
Yeah, and unfortunately, people click on it. So
well, if you don't know that Predator's Harbor Freight brand, you think, wow, a generator. No, I've seen that quite a bit. Those are the less sophisticated ones. Fortunately, I don't think I'm just paranoid and suspicious of pretty much everything. So if it isn't something familiar, I
Right.
delete it. And I might go as far as looking at it, but the links are a no-no.
Yeah.
And as far as Google accessing your information, if you happen to just set up your own phone, you may inadvertently send your documents to the cloud, and then it shows up everywhere. And so I can take a picture and it'll show up on my wife's phone, and it's crazy. Even I worked at the University of Utah, and I would be looking at something on my university computer, and I would get at home, I would be getting ads for it and such, even though there were probably commonalities between email addresses. I had a personal email account on the work computer and at home, but it's amazing what they can track and what they can do. And just a FYI, if you're upgrading your phone and your old phone has issues, best not to do an automatic transfer. I
Hmm.
finally, as I was telling you, I got a phone upgrade here. I did 3 upgrades, and all the funny issues that were associated with the primary phone would be transferred to the new phone. So I went through 2 generations of that. So this phone, I did it all manually. And of course, having a Google account, a Gmail, which is probably a mistake, it transferred a majority of my phone numbers. And I've also, when I was having issues with my other phone and a call wasn't working, which was part of the problem, it was due to updates. I would be getting a questionnaire from Google asking about my phone quality. And it's like, what do they have to do with my phone carrier? And of course, a lot of phones now do the Wi-Fi calling, so that could have been the catch. So there's just, it's crazy.
It's a big area. I highly encourage everyone to read this latest issue of the Journal of Civil Defense. It's called America's Next War, Cyberspace. And the reality is, if the Red Chinese go for Taiwan, the opening assault will be a cyber war. And so that's where you have to take care of all this now. It's the reason why we're going to take the Panama Canal back, because we can't allow them to sink a ship there. And there's one place where it's only 1,000 yards wide, and they have 2 ports there now as part of the Belt Road Initiative. They're building a superhighway, and they're putting 2 bridges across the canal. And they had big plans for Panama, and fortunately, in the past 2 months, it's been reversed. But the point is, the Communist Chinese Party and the PLA are working all the time on this, and cyber is an area where they're putting a lot of resources, and so we have to be ready. Not ready, but we have to be better at them at countering it, and that's why the AI push right now is so strong. It's if we don't get that taken care of, we're in trouble.
Any other questions from anyone? All right, we'll wish everyone well, and appreciate everyone's attendance, and you can look forward to a meeting next month as well. I don't believe we've established the topic yet, but you should be getting an email about that in the near future. We really appreciate your attendance and your support, and look forward to meeting with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jay, there was a question on the chat, someone asking about security cameras, and is it better to do wired or Wi-Fi? And I would avoid Wi-Fi, but typically someone still can access whoever the provider is. So
I would say, yeah, anything that uses Wi-Fi,
Can be hacked
would be
very
subject
easily.
to hacking. But
Yeah,
I do have security cameras, and they're hardwired.
yeah,
And
I would go with hardwired.
yeah, I had hardwired at one time. I have some low criticality Wi-Fi cameras now, but they're just viewing the outside.
yeah,
And another important thing, when I had a truck stolen several years ago when I was in Sandy, so I got a friend that did security cameras, and one thing that he suggested is never put interior cameras in your house. So I had one in the garage, so someone broke into the garage, but it's just you definitely don't want someone accessing the inside of your house.
okay. Yeah, word of the wise, it requires a little bit of thought and study,
Right.
ensuring your own security. All right, with
Well,
that,
thank you,
we'll,
everyone. I hope that was useful.
yes, thanks for your attendance. Hopefully it was useful. Do join TACDA for sure if you're not already, and read the Journal of Civil Defense on a regular basis. And we try to gather up information that's useful and put it out roughly twice a year. So I'd recommend that. It's free at this point. So go to TACDA.org and join up. And we don't sell that information. And I find it highly useful. So with that, we'll say goodnight and appreciate your attendance. Thank you very much.